What's up builders, it's me, Jimbotron, back at you with another video. In today's video, we will be looking at a build that I personally like to use on Moira, and that is the Ultimate Charge Moira build, or as I call it, Dithotic Destruction. Starting off the video, this build is all about farming your ultimate charge, and then unleashing it for one of the highest DPS ults in the entire game. Just to note, Moira's ultimate scales with both ability power and attack speed, which is often overlooked. In order to achieve the absolute maximum damage from it, you have to build into both of these as they multiply off of each other, not add together. So first, we're going to go over the powers. The first power that you want to take is Scientific Death Herd. This is a very strong power that is typically taken later on in the game. However, in this build, we will be taking it first. This power makes it so that for every person that you fade through when using your fade, you will gain 8% ultimate charge and 15% of your max life as overhealth. This will make it so that your ultimate economy early game is actually insane, as every fade can be up to 40% ultimate charge and 75% of your max life as overheal, letting you sustain and farm ults crazy quick. This is a really underrated Moira power. The second power is what seals the deal, and that's Destruction's Divide. This makes your ult last 25% longer, and you can also focus one of either damage or healing for 30% greater effect. Now, these will mainly be used offensively. They definitely can be used defensively, however, because of the sheer amount of numbers this outputs, even the tankiest of tanks full heal in a second or two. What I will note about this though, is that if you are toggling your damage, your self-healing from the ultimate also cuts off. Just be very careful when managing the two, as sometimes you can be easily caught off guard. We do have items that can get around this though. The third power that I like to take is Destruction. After you spend 50 biotic energy, you will deal 20% increased damage for 6 seconds. This applies to your ultimate also. It's 20% universal damage, not just on your primary fire like the image suggests. So taking this just means that if you're healing someone a lot before you ult, your first 6 seconds of the ultimate will do a lot more damage, because you have the 30% from Destruction's Divide, the 20% from Destruction, and then whatever attack speed and ability power stats you have on top of that. As for your final power, this is both an attack speed and an ability build, so funnily enough, anything that you want to take, you can take here. They all will get value, however my favorite I think is Phantasm. As we will be fading aggressively a lot, this will allow us to leave a lot more healing orbs around wherever we fade, which can help us get away with a lot more of these scientific fades when we fade through people. Really, any power here works. Moving on to items now. So we already discussed that a hybrid of ability power and attack speed is what works here, which not only makes us good in neutral, as we both have strong orbs and strong primary fire, but we'll also be charging our ultimate insanely quickly, as attack speed scales ultimate charge generation quicker than weapon power and ability power do. On top of that, we also have the Dithotic Destruction playstyle constantly feeding us that ult charge. An absolute must-pick here is Alternative Energy. This will make it so that you have 10% ability power and 15% attack speed, which already are really nice stats. However, every time you fade, you will be instantly refilling your healing meter, so you have nearly 100% healing uptime. This is a very phenomenal item and definitely worth 10,000. An item that I would consider a must-pick here, but is also kind of preference, is Levitation Shawl. This item makes it so that during your ultimate, you can fly around freely. This is really strong because Moira moves incredibly quickly in her ultimate, and this gives you all directions of movement instantly for free. You're not only incredibly hard to shoot out of the sky, but while you're in the sky, people can't really take cover from your ultimate as well. They can't really run away, and half of the roster has no tools to shoot you out of the air. This can be an absolute deal breaker in some matchups and not that good in others. However, I always am taking this. Especially since you have to toggle healing to self-heal during your ult, making sure that you don't take damage is kind of essential. And then an item I like to pick is 3-tap Tommy Gun. This will make it so that whenever using an ability or gadget, for the next 3 seconds, we can deal up to 12% of our target's max life. It has a bunch of weird conditioning that means that it can't be used on every hero, but characters that have beam damage can use this to its full value. This will make our time to kill quite a decent bit better, especially against tanks, and also provides the exact stats that we need for this build. I think after that, as long as you follow the rules, the items you want should follow these stats, and also don't forget survivability. You should be fine. Now for the ratings. First off is impact. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. This build is probably one of Moira's more impactful builds. Moira's primary fire and orb build both get overshadowed by other builds that do the same job. However, this build doesn't really share that same issue, as scientific destruction is a unique power, and there are very few ultimates in the game that can output more damage than this. Second, we have early game. This is getting a 9 out of 10. I think this is one of the strongest early games, because most builds that allow you to gain ultimate charge without doing damage or healing require you to have a full build set up around it. However, scientific destruction is around 1 power, and because of that, your round 1 is excessively strong, being able to ult multiple times in a round where most people don't even build one. Then we have scaling. This is getting a 7 out of 10. As this is both attack speed and ability scaling. Your damage goes up so fast, but this does fall off. Its neutral is a little bit weak, and there isn't the best survivability, especially since you can't heal during your damage toggle during the ultimate. And finally, as for fun, I'm going to give this build a 9 out of 10. I had a lot of fun playing this. Moira is a fun character because of how easy it is to put out a lot of stats. However, just watching people's health bars drain is so satisfying. Anyway, builders, that's everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.